Hi again, I'm Katey Rich from cinemablend.com.
And I'm Nathaniel Rogers from thefilmexperience.net.
We're here again to talk about 500 Days of Summer, which came out last weekend, but you might not have had a chance to check it out yet, or you might want to hear us ramble on about it.
You might, because you actually might want to talk about this one.
Yeah, it is definitely something we're thinking about and discussing.
Yeah, the film is from first-time director Mark Webb. He's done music videos in the past, but this is his first feature film. So at the beginning of the film, we learn that it's a relationship film about Tom and Summer, hence the title. And they're both in their mid-20s. You know, it's the post-college finding yourself and what you're going to do with your life years.
Yeah, he's working a job he doesn't really care about.
He works for a greeting card company, and the film actually gets a lot of mileage out of that workplace and what that entails. And she comes to work there, which is how they meet. And so it's all about how their relationships and how their relationship is a hit, and it's also a miss.
Yeah.
And it's the most interesting thing I think about it is that it's about perceptions of a relationship sometimes more than it's about the relationship.
Yeah. So yeah, a lot of what you wind up seeing is the signposts of the relationship. Like you see the early infatuation, you see the first time they kiss, you see the first time they have sex, you see them, you know, becoming part of each other's lives, and then you kind of see the dissolution. You see him trying to make a joke and her not responding, or the two of them, you know, going to bed angry at each other. So it's all stuff that anyone would recognize, which I think is what a lot of what makes it really powerful. You really feel part of this relationship.
Yeah, it's very relatable and very funny. And it's not told in a linear fashion, and for once that did not annoy me.
Yeah.
Because it hops all over the place. But I actually thought that was very insightful here, because relationships aren't the same from day to day, and sometimes they go backwards and then forwards again.
And a lot of times you're living with your memory of what that relationship was a year before, you know? Like if things are bad, you think about when things were good, or when things are good, you're like, oh, well, will things be like they were bad again, you know? You don't just have the now, you have the entire, everything that's come before, and even stuff that's going to come in the future, so.
Even though the film is titled based on the female character, Summer, it's actually about Tom and his perception. So the movie keeps pulling you back into how Tom feels about the relationship. And Joseph Gordon-Levitt plays Tom, and it's a terrific performance. He's very loose and physically fun portrayal.
Yeah, like we've always known him to be a good comedian. Like he was on TV for so long.
Yeah.
He was great in 10 Things I Hate About You, but he's been more of a dramatic actor lately. But he's kind of got both of those things now. He just grows as an actor every time you see him.
And there's a great dance scene, which we don't want to spoil how that comes about, but it's just really a tip-top performance in that way, because you totally buy into his mindset, which is why you go with the film through its flights of fancy.
Yeah, he does really well getting you into Tom's head, and Joseph Gordon-Levitt does a great job of that. And I really love Zooey Deschanel. I think she's great. I think she's a great presence on screen. I love her singing voice, which is completely separate. And she does a great job here, but the character of Summer is what bothers me most about the movie. She feels like a cipher. Like you don't really understand why she likes him. You don't understand why she gets out of the relationship. You don't understand why she's working this temp job at this greeting card company when clearly she can do something else. There's no exploration of her inner life whatsoever. And to some degree, that's what the movie's going for. It's his perspective. It's what he experienced in the relationship. But I really wanted more of a reason for him to be so hung up on her, so in love with her, other than that she's cute and dresses well, you know, has a personality. Like you don't know anything about her. And I think and a lot of the reasons that happens is that you'll see their relationship in like signposts. Like you see them running through an IKEA happily, you see them on a train with the sunset in the background and Feist playing, and you get the feeling of what's happening, but you don't actually hear their conversations. It relies on montages a little too much to be, I think, as smart as it wants to be.
One thing that's adding to your discomfort there with how Summer's not portrayed is that Zooey Deschanel has this tendency to be cast as sort of these fantasy girlfriends.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so that's already filling in, this is a fantasy, it's not a three-dimensional person.
Yeah, I mean, she's beautiful, and she has this great sense of style, and she has this beautiful apartment, and, you know, she's willing to go sing karaoke at a bar, but, like, what is it that makes her a real person? There's no... She'll dismiss, but loving dismiss is not a character trait. So, yeah.
Yeah, but it's not a character trait, but people do actually base relationships on things
Absolutely.
like, we have that in common.
Absolutely.
You know, he gets so excited that she loves the Smiths.
Yeah, but they're together for about a year.
Yeah.
So what happens in that year that makes them actually know each other? So yeah, I mean, and I really enjoyed the film in a lot of other levels. I think it was really overhyped for me. Like, it came out of Sundance with, you know, everyone raving about it, and then you saw it in Nashville.
I did, yeah, and I loved it there, and I loved it the second time as well. It's got a lot of energy,
Yeah.
a lot of color. It's really inventive. The film feels very confident, so it immediately sucks you in. There's no it doesn't feel tentative at all. The director knows exactly what he's going for, and even if it's a little outre or fanciful, he zeroes rating.
It never feels awkward, which so many first-time films can do, and yeah, you'll be really sucked into it and go with it, even if afterward you might think of some things that were flaws, like I did.
Yeah, but it's a fun movie. The colors, has lots of energy to it.
Yeah.
It's tied into both summer, the character, and the different seasons.
And the season, yeah. It's set in LA, which has no seasons, but you get that summery feeling through all of it.
Yeah.
So yeah, check it out if you can. It should be expanding. And Joseph Gordon-Levitt, again, remains a pretty tremendous actor, and it's worth seeing just for him.
Yeah.
So thanks again for listening to us.
I'm Nathaniel Rogers from thefilmexperience.net.
And I'm Katey Rich from cinemablend.com. We'll see you later.